Shit Show. I am Turch, and with me is my co-host, the CEO, the man that fits into size 36 pants. It's Kieran. How are you, buddy?
That is great. Thank you so much for that.
I'm just building up your confidence now. Just building up the old confidence.
We went suit shopping.
Oh, we did go suit shopping.
We went.
I gotta, we spoke about, you ranted last couple of weeks ago about the worst shirt shopping experience that you've ever had.
I did, yeah.
And this was 100% 180.
It was.
Opposite way. You went in and they go, here, try this on. Does it fit? Yes. Get the fuck out.
Brilliant.
It was pure man shopping across the board. It was proper. You get in.
Do you know what I even like?
What?
Do you know what I even like? The guy that fitted us for the the suit for the wedding.
Yeah.
He goes to me, "Oh, you must be. I'll give you a 38."
Yeah.
And I say to him, "In some pants, I'm a 36."
Yeah.
So to help me with my ego, he gave me a 36. I get out. The 36 doesn't fit. It doesn't fit. I then go up to the 38.
Yeah.
But I was like, you know what? I respect the fact that he gave me the 36.
It's weird with slacks. We've talked about this. Slacks are weird where they're always slightly smaller. They always feel slightly smaller than a pair of jeans or anything like that you buy.
And I think they were sort of that slim type.
Yeah, it was
fitty,
a slim sort of thing as well. So,
yeah.
And that's the thing as well. It's like, we talk about the shirts where they're slim fit and you're just like, well, yeah, but I'm also in an extra large slim. Isn't that just a medium?
Yeah.
It doesn't... Make it one easy, understandable sort of thing.
6 people, less than 30 minutes.
Oh, way less than 30 minutes.
Way less than 30 minutes. There was us 3 groomsmen, yourself, your brother, and your dad.
Yeah. And my brother even bought a vest.
And beat that, girls. Beat that.
It was very quick.
Less than 30 minutes. Done, dusted.
And the next one's going to be great because we're going to all be able to get into the suits properly.
Yeah.
Because, just
for
to
the
make sure...
second fitting.
Or the final set fitting to make sure that the pant lengths are all good. And then we're good to go. Then we'll just leave them at my parents' house. You can leave your new pair of shoes there as well.
Fantastic.
You can leave your belt there as well.
Fantastic.
And that way you just rock up to my parents' house and we're ready to bloody rock and roll.
Ready to... Basically... And you know what? I was thinking about this the other day. What is a best man? Right? What role does the best man have at a wedding? Because this is a very important...
At the wedding, maybe say the speech.
Just shush. Can you... This is my interpretation, not your interpretation. And really, there's the groom, that's you, and then there's the best man.
Oh.
And really, what I've been thinking about is that the groom there's the groom, right? But really, the best man is better than the groom because that person is the best man at the wedding.
Yeah.
Out of all the men that are at the wedding, he is the best.
Yeah, like Pete Best, like the drummer from the Beatles that left, like
Yeah.
that type of Best, right?
No, it's just I am. So I'm like
Usually the best man is the one that says the speech, and you are saying the speech, but also the best man has like lots of other responsibilities, like holding the rings,
which I'm banned from,
and you're not doing.
Yeah,
and also signing the book, signing the paperwork, which also
I'm not doing. That's right, because we have a co-best man situation.
We have a co-best man situation. I figure that's the best way of doing things, simply because that way everyone feels important, and when everyone's important, nobody's important. If everyone has superpowers, no one really has superpowers. If everyone has $1 million, no one has $1 million type of thing.
But it's sort of like, really, I don't have to do much. I just have to... it's really hard to fuck up. I just have to turn up. That's all I have to do.
We've tried to make this wedding, even for Jess and I, we've tried to make this wedding, everyone just turn up and it's ready to go. Because if that's the case, then everyone can actually relax and have a good time.
Yeah.
If we have to worry about things and organize things on the day or even before that, then no one's gonna have a good time. So we're aiming for, let's get it to rock and roll.
Oh, it's very, very exciting. Turch, do you have a rant for us?
I've got a couple of things.
As I hold your Yarra Valley water bill in my hands.
It's not even for my property.
Lucky I don't have sticky fingers.
It's not even for my property. It's for my investments.
Oh, you're a mister.
Yeah.
Oh, you're not a doctor.
Nah.
Oh, that's
Nah.
a shame.
I didn't want to have a $450,000 uni debt. I
Yeah,
think
you're
I'll
sort
just
of-
go to work and buy houses.
Yeah, no, you're sort of kicking my ass there. Yeah.
Speaking of houses, good, fantastic segue. Like I said, Jess and I have sort of been keeping a track of the property market around here, and there's always houses being sold here, like either full houses or like townhouses that we're always interested in. It's always
Or a
good.
co-house.
Co-house, whatever
Yeah.
it is, away from the apartments.
Yeah, or a basement.
Look, as long as it has 4 bedrooms and
Or
a
a
couple.
garage. You reckon you could sell your garage?
No, I need that for
Okay.
Jess.
Well-
That's how she runs her business.
Yeah.
Very true. But we've been looking at it, and one thing I don't like about like the property stuff is sometimes like you can't find stuff on like you look on the internet and you go, yeah, it's all good. But sometimes just walking around, you see a property that's for sale,
Yes.
and you think to yourself, oh, I'm just gonna. That looks like something I might be interested in. Looks like it's in the right sort of area.
Yeah.
It's got looks like.
So
it's
what
got-
you're saying is you're walking past a house.
Yeah.
And you're getting a massive hard on.
Yeah, basically.
Are you jizzing in your pants?
No, it's getting an erection, and
You-
I want to.
okay,
I
you're getting
want to
the
further that erection.
You're getting the erection, but you're not getting the jizz.
Yeah. So
Okay.
I want to come.
Yeah.
And I figure the only way I can come anymore is to
Yeah.
watch something on my phone.
Uh-huh.
And I think to myself, you know what I'll do? I'll just Google the property
Yeah.
and find it online. And I'm sitting there trying to walk the dog.
Wait,
trying
are you sitting walking the dog, or
Okay,
are you
I'm
in some kind
walking
of?
the dog.
Are you in some kind of wheelchair?
Yes,
While
it's
you're
an
doing
electric
this.
wheelchair with one foot out pushing it along.
You lazy man.
So I'm walking the dog, and I'm like, well, the dog's not just gonna. Dweezer's just not gonna stop for me. Well, he wants to go. I'm like, that's fair. We're gonna keep a pace.
Yeah.
Gonna keep a pace. So I'm
The
like,
dog
okay.
knows. The dog knows that you sort of have this unwritten contract with the dog. When
Yeah.
the dog walking. They know that a pace has to be maintained.
Pace has to be maintained. So we're going. I'm like, you know what? We've walked past the place. All good. I roughly know what street it is, but I didn't catch the number. Ugh. All right. So you try to look it up. It's so hard to look up unless you know exactly the property thing, and maybe
The
like
property
the property
thing.
address,
Right.
and maybe the property, like who's selling the property.
Mhm.
It's quite difficult to find sometimes.
Yeah, you didn't take a photo.
No. Because how would a photo help?
You see the sign? Wasn't there a sign?
Okay, great. But this is what I'm going to complain about.
You
the
take
signs.
a photo of the sign.
But the signs don't have. I don't know if you've ever noticed this with property.
You walk back there later.
But the sign, it's once a day. Come on.
Yeah.
But the signs don't have the property address on it.
Uh huh. Well, no, because they don't need to because they're on the street.
Okay, fine. That's fine. But how about this? If people want to see, let's just say you want to know when the next open time is,
Uh huh.
you've got to search for the
They
address.
used to put that on the sign.
Yeah, okay.
They don't put that on
They
the
don't put
sign
it
anymore.
Because where is it?
It's on the internet.
Great. But wouldn't you think, with the QR code technology that we're using across the country at the moment, you would think that
No one uses QR coding outside of COVID. For QR coding for shops, yes. Everything else, I have never seen anyone else QR code for anything else.
I'm going to tell you something.
But bar myself at one of the restaurants where you had to do it for the food.
There you go.
I would have, if I could have gone up, I would have gone up
Yeah,
and
okay.
ordered.
But wouldn't it be great? And as soon as you start looking, getting into the property market, walking past, wouldn't it be great? You just go, oh, I see the sign. I want to know when the next open thing is and come up with a property thing on realestate.com, wherever it is. Scan the QR code, pops up on your phone. And that way you can save the link, send it to people. You can do all that. Why have they made it extra? Like, you have to pay. There's only,
See, I would have just known the street and the number of the house.
well, if you're walking somewhere you haven't been in a while,
Yeah.
you can't remember, or you're walking somewhere new,
Yeah.
I
would have taken, even at that pace, I would have crossed the road, turned around, found the street number, found the house number, and
I
continued
just
on my
think
jolly
that
way.
they're dropping the ball with this, where they're not giving you easy access to.
I've never liked real estate agents.
Nah, they are a middleman. Look, my parents just sold one of their properties, right?
Real estate agents, they try to act high classy,
Yeah,
but they're really low class.
they're just salesmen with products that They didn't create. They're just a middleman, just a contract manager.
Terrible people. I've never had any good experience with real estate people.
My parents just sold their property,
Yeah.
right? And they had to put it up on the websites,
Yeah.
right? And do all the marketing. And it used to be back in the day, you would have to find it on the actual real estate's website or the pamphlets, the booklets.
You get the local paper. That's the reason you got the local paper
for
because
houses.
you got the houses in it. Yeah.
And now it's all online. And there's only 2 websites in Australia, realestate.com and Domain.
Yeah.
That's it. And they charge you because they've basically got a duopoly. And they're almost owned by the same people.
Yeah.
They charge you of arm and leg. So advertising, to put it anywhere near somewhere where that would look, which is basically like Google, front 2 pages, tops. It can cost up to $10,000 to put it in a listing like that.
Wow.
And obviously my parents didn't spend that much.
Yeah.
And it all depends on what area you're trying to sell a house. So hot property markets.
So Turak, $50,000 to sell your house.
But you know what? It may not be because there's not many houses being sold in Turak. But a place like Northgate or down, Spotswood or something like that, where lots of property turnover all the time, you're high competitive. You want to be more competitive, you pay us more.
That's very interesting.
I mean, look.
I feel like if you're going to buy a house, though, you're also going to spend the time scrolling through page 2 to 10.
Oh, yeah, absolutely. And you're monitoring every single one of them and doing all that. So, look, I think QR codes, look, I used to use QR codes, believe it or not.
So there's a conspiracy here. There's a conspiracy that the real estate agents are now in, that they're not putting the QR codes or the address on it because they're somehow getting kickbacks from realestate.com and Domain.
But that's the thing, the QR code can go straight to the website.
I don't know. I'm just thinking of some
well, look,
kind of,
and this is how I know about QR codes, because back in the day when the cliches used to play more gigs, right?
Did you put QR codes on them? Because I never used it.
I put QR codes on them all the time. Every single gig for about 6 months to a year. Those monthly gigs. I used to put QR codes in the corner, and you used to scan the code with the phone, and it used to take you to the Facebook event. I thought, how good's that?
No one used it.
Anyway, so I thought, I have them anyway. I have them there. People see the day on it. And then I was putting up some posters at the venue we were playing at.
Yeah.
Someone comes up to me and goes, "Oh, is that a QR code?" I go, "Yeah, it is." And this person goes to me, "I've only ever seen drug dealers use them." I'm like, "Sorry, what?" And this was like, I don't know, 6 or 7 years ago before, Not that
drug dealers are the early adopters.
They're the early adopters of a whole bunch of things. They're like, I'm in. Let's try it out. And I don't know what they were using it for or anything like that. And I only had temporary ones because you basically have to purchase a QR code. Or you can make temporary ones that last like a month. And it worked for me when I was advertising for the band because I would have the posts up for a month and get them taken down. But yeah, QR codes back in the day, like no one used them. And then I didn't hear about them for ages. And suddenly, scan in everywhere.
Got a QR code.
Got a QR code. And you're right, they some of them are using them for menus of certain venues.
Yeah.
And I don't really like the ordering.
If you're charging me money for a meal, and you're putting a premium on it, I want a waiter or a waitress.
You want someone serving you.
I want someone to yell at. I want someone to complain at.
I agree.
Yeah.
There's something about that. Now, the other thing I'm going to complain about is, what's the guy? Kevin Smith.
Yeah, Kevin Smith.
He did Clerks and Clerks 2, right? Great films, fun, all that.
Brilliant films.
And he was offered to remake the He-Man show.
Right, okay.
And the He-Man show, 80s show, so a little bit before our time.
Yeah, I never saw the He-Man show.
I
saw Clerks.
Yeah.
But never He-Man.
Yeah, well, He-Man, Masters of the Universe, this was like an 80s cartoon. It was basically, Mattel made a line of toys
Uh-huh.
and then made a show based on the toys to sell the toys.
Got it.
It was a great thing, right? Like that when you could do that back in the day in the 80s, right? Where you could literally make a show to sell toys to kids. Like Transformers was like that. Like they
How good were fucking Transformers?
I was a Power Rangers kid through and through.
No. I remember having this
and
Transformer.
I'm going to talk about that.
I had this Transformer toy, and I got frustrated because I could never like transform it back. But my brother could do it, but I couldn't do it. Fucking that gave me the shits.
It's all these little things that we remember for our childhood.
And then you remember being a kid, right? You sort of grow out of your toys. The toys are put away in the cupboard.
Yeah.
And then one day, maybe 2 or 3 years later, you get those toys and you remember all those toys that you had. Oh.
Remember a whole bunch. But going on with that, he's remade it. And the show is now... I can remember, it was a kid show back in the day. So, these guys back in there when they're in the 80s, they would have been born in like the late 70s, early 80s, watch the show. They're now like 40 years old. 10 years older than us. And now they're watching Kevin Smith's version of the show and going, oh, it's not as good as the old one. It doesn't focus on the right things. They're complaining, like obsessively, overly complaining about it. And I'm sitting here going, you do realize it's a kid's show for kids. And that's what I want to really
but adults have that nostalgia of back in my day.
Yeah, but
it's like Star Wars. All the new Star Wars is shit.
Yeah. But I guess Star Wars was for adults.
Uh-huh.
Well,
I think Star Wars is for kids.
Okay. I think it was He-Man was definitely for kids. Right? Star Wars was
what
for
the fuck is a He-Man?
It was just a cartoon character, like a big strong guy, held a sword, said I have the power. He was fighting Skeletor. Like that's literally it, right?
That is the shittiest marketing
that has happened
from Mattel or whatever.
It outsold Barbie. It outsold Star Wars toys back in the day. Like that's how big it was.
The superhero is called He-Man.
Yeah.
They're not even trying. So I tell you what happened. Someone was trying to get fired.
No,
and I can tell you, someone was trying to get fired, came up with the shittiest idea. Somehow it stuck.
Yeah, that's what he looks like.
Somehow it stuck, and then this guy was made a genius.
You know what? I watched the Toys That Made Us. That's why I know a little bit more about He-Man. Great show on Netflix. If you
don't think you could call him a He-Man today.
Well, that's another thing, right?
Yeah.
But they made this character because they were like, we want to compete with Star Wars, but we can't use space theme. So they're going to create like this fantasy world and all that sort of stuff. And they made this character, this buff dude, because they wanted like a bigger, stronger toy than all the other toys. So when you pick it up, it's big and muscly and all that sort of stuff.
He-Man and the Masters of the Universe.
Yeah.
Wow.
So full on. But all these people are complaining about these reboots and remakes that are not aimed at the 40-year-old man. It's still aimed at kids. Like, they remake Power Rangers every year, basically. And look, I love the original Mighty Morphin Power Rangers. It's always going to have a nostalgic bit to my heart. But if I rewatch it now, you can actually clip exactly the same clip, because they use the same clip of the Megazord coming together. It's never different. It's the same clip. They just copy and paste it.
Yeah.
I know that the voices are overdubbed, and you can see when they cut from the American footage to the Japanese footage.
Yeah.
And you know what? I don't go, it's a masterpiece. I love it because
but as a kid, you loved it though.
I loved it as a kid because it was big, wild, and crazy, and I love it as an adult because it's stupid as shit.
Mm-hmm.
And but I don't go to if they remake it with the new cast and do other variations of Power Rangers, I can still watch it and go, yeah, it's a bunch of guys and girls in spandex suits and a motorcycle helmet fighting a guy dressed up as a monster. Like, that's what it is in basic terms. And it's still funny and it's still great, but I'm never going to say it's a masterpiece. But a lot of these people, it's again, same for Star Wars. Okay, it was a kid's film, but at least the original 3 had some merit to adult merit, some bigger themes, great actors, great acting, and actually quite a competent story.
Mm-hmm.
And these new ones don't add any value.
Well, the new ones are just trying to compete. They're just rebooting. They're trying to make some money, and then they move on.
But at least like when George Lucas did his prequels,
Yeah.
he wasn't trying to compete with. He was just trying to still tell.
No, he was trying to tell Star Wars.
Yeah, he was trying to tell the story.
Very different to someone rebooting and just trying to
That's
make a
right,
quick buck.
and I think that's the issue more than anything else. Everyone's looking at the people making these things are looking at it as a reboot, and they're trying to basically make money. And I understand that, but you're going to make money off the product. Like Star Wars is going to make money no matter what.
Yeah.
You know, they made $1 billion at the box, or $1.2 billion of the first film.
Amazing.
You know, and spent 250 mil or 300 mil, whatever it was, right? So quadruple what they spent.
Yeah.
Right? Definitely made their money back. You could have done that but focused in on making a good story.
Uh-huh.
And it actually probably would have done even better, because people would have gone, I'm here for the story. Because that's what Star Wars is, knights in space.
Yeah.
With a bit of magic.
Uh-huh.
You know? Like if you change the setting from Tatooine to Knights of the Round Table, you could tell the exact same story.
Yeah, it's the classic storytelling arc.
Yeah, arc, exactly right. And it's the same for like He-Man or Power Rangers, whatever it is. But people overanalyze these things to such degree that they take any of the joy out of it.
Have you seen He-Man?
I've seen
Have you seen the new He-Man?
No, I haven't.
Uh-huh.
But I hate people complaining about it online that are fully grown adults. I was like, dude, don't you have anything else to do? Like, I can't, like, again.
No, Turch, I'm a little bit older than you, so I feel like I need to give you some wise advice again. We should really have a segment called Kieran Gives Turch Wise Advice.
This is it. You should make a theme tune for it.
And now it's time for Kieran Gives Turch Wise Advice. Do, 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 do. I don't know. That's a terrible theme.
You'll come up with something.
Never listen to grown men living in parents' basements complaining on the internet.
I understand that, but it goes across the board with a whole bunch of things. Like I said, people complained about the new Power Rangers film that came out, like the live action one, they made it for adults.
Australians complain about everything before we had the internet.
That's true. That's true. I'm not going to say that's a lie, but what I'm saying is it's like people expect these grandeur things. Like, oh, it's going to grow with me and it's going to be just as good as I remember. No, if you go back and play old PlayStation games or Nintendo games, they're never as good as you remember. Because at one day it was that you got that childhood joy and all.
I remember watching. I don't know. Let's just.
I think it's like playing Cards Against Humanity.
Yeah.
The first time you play it, you're like, "This is the greatest game I've ever played in my life," and like you play, and then after a year or two, you play it again. And you go, "Oh, it's not as good."
Cards Against Humanity is great. And I think it's great. I could play it again and again and again, but there needs to be a new deck of cards.
Yeah.
Yeah, because when I've played it and I'm like, oh, I know that card.
Yeah.
And then, that's funny, but that was funnier the first time with a different group of people.
It's like everything. You know, all these sort of kid shows are built for kids. And the kids... I
remember I think is it Willy Wonka or, I don't know, one of those very early 1990 films.
Yeah.
And I remember watching these films going like, because you're a kid, you've got the imagination going, wow, this is amazing. Yeah. And then as an adult, rewatching those same ones going, fucking hell, the set is shit.
Yeah.
They've painted a curtain
as
the background. And as a kid, I thought that was fucking real.
Yeah.
And now I'm like, that is so shit.
There's only so much of a level of suspension of disbelief you can have as an adult. And I think you become a little bit more cynical as adult as well. But I think these people bring
this is why we move into the great films of Old School and etc.
Yeah.
Wedding Crashers.
Oh, look, Jess and I watched Austin Powers.
Now,
for the first time.
That film in my head is still
10 out of 10.
10 out of 10. I have managed to watch 10 minutes of it a couple of years ago, and I had to remove myself from the room because it was going to ruin the nostalgia of that.
I'd seen it, and like, you know,
Liar Liar is the other film.
And but Liar Liar is pretty funny. But we thought to ourselves, how funny this would be. We'll rewatch all of the Austin Powers. We're gonna have a fun lockdown.
Bad move.
And then we watched the first one, and we're like, we did not laugh once. We're like, there are no actual funny jokes. Whereas I can rewatch something like This Is Spinal Tap, or I can rewatch Caddyshack a million times, and it's always funny.
Yeah, but Caddyshack was designed for adults, not kids.
But so was Austin Powers.
Space Jam was designed for adults, not kids.
Well, okay, that's another thing. The new Space Jam came out, and people go, "Oh, it's not as good as the original." Yeah, because with the original, you were watching it, and
Had Bill Murray.
It had Bill Murray.
Yeah.
So you can't compete.
It had Newman.
It had Charles Barkley.
Yeah.
It had I had someone else in it that's really famous, and I can't remember.
Danny DeVito.
It did have Danny DeVito.
Yeah.
Like, it had an all-star cast.
It was amazing.
And Michael Jordan, like, I think really... And you know what? That film there was meant to be just like a film.
Yeah.
Like, it wasn't meant to be like this blockbuster thing. It became a cult classic.
But there's lines in that film which are just for adults.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
And it goes over the kids' heads. And then they're like, why are mum and dad laughing?
Yeah. But I look at, I haven't seen the new
Did I tell you what
yet.
I did when I was working at a primary school?
Please.
I had to stay back for one of those, I don't know, like nighttime experiences that, you know, the kids have once a year or whatever because they can't go to school camp.
Yeah.
Anyway, so they had to watch a movie, and there was a number of movies to pick. So let's just say there was like 4 new releases on DVD, and then like the 5th one was Space Jam.
Put it on.
And so I said to the teachers,
Bang.
I'll deal with this. So I was like, all right, everyone, we're going to have a secret ballot. All right, all the kids, close your eyes. All right, so show them the movies. All right, kids, close your eyes. All right, raise your hands for the first one. Raise your hands for the second one. Raise your hands for the third one. Raise your hands for the fourth one. Right, raise your hands for Space Jam. All right, open your eyes. The winner, and like no kid knew of fucking Space Jam. I was like, the winner is Space Jam.
Oh, bang.
And the teachers are just applauding me.
Yeah.
They were just like, well done.
But it's we rewatched Space Jam, and it's fucking terrible. But for a kid, if you were to watch it as a kid, I guarantee a kid would like it. Like, it's stupid enough for a kid. And as an adult, you can appreciate certain things. But again, like, it's not high art.
No, but it's not trying to be high art.
And I think that's, again, all these kids' films, or these kids' properties, especially He-Man.
I can't see. I won't be able to bring myself to watch Space Jam 2.
No.
Because I just know I'm going to fucking hate Space Jam 2.
Exactly right. Because
they're going to miss the mark.
Well, they got, like, I've seen someone review it. I've seen a few, 1 or 2 YouTubers review it. And they're like, oh, you know, one of them was like, the story is stupid. Like, the story of the first one was stupid, but at least it had a point.
Mm.
This one here apparently is really stupid. And then another one was like, oh, but, you know, it's just as crap as the first one. I'm like, wait a second. The first one was meant to be crap. And that's the difference. This one here is meant to be like, oh, look, we're rebooting it. It's going to be amazing. It's for everyone. It's for the people who like the original Space Jam. The first Space Jam was just like, the biggest star in Space Jam 1 was Michael fucking Jordan. And that's your best actor. And the second best actor is Bugs Bunny. You know what I mean? Like, okay, let's just talk about like hierarchy of you know, best actors in the film. Third best actor is Wayne Newman.
Uh-huh.
And then you've got Bill Murray, who I don't even think was
just
meant
a
to
cameo.
I don't even think he was meant to be in the film. I think he was just there playing golf with Larry Bird and Michael Jordan. And that was for him, that was just his day. You know what I mean? So I don't know why people are complaining about it so much. And going on from that, I hate the reboot of Dark, like making a kids show and then rebooting it to make it dark and edgy.
A kids show rebooted to an adult show.
Like what?
I don't know,
Well,
like...
do you know the Powerpuff Girls?
Yeah.
Remember that show? They're trying to reboot that as an adult show.
Perfect, make it R-rated.
Yeah.
Wonderful.
But apparently in the first act of it, or the first script of it, the first thing that happens is that one of the girls walks into another girl's room and she's having lesbian sex with another person.
Powerpuffs on OnlyFans. It would be a huge hit.
You know what? People would Simps would go fucking nuts for it, you know?
That'd be great.
I don't know. I'm just sort of over all that sort of, make new properties. Like, I think there was definitely a golden time for new properties. I think the 80s was really good for new properties being made.
Yeah.
And I think that we're sort of stuck in a rut of, we know, like...
Okay, I don't think we're stuck in a rut. I think it's these film studios don't know what to do. And the answer is actually very clear, because Netflix and Prime, Amazon Prime Video and Disney and all that are doing it. They're actually paying people who are producers and directors, giving them, you are the creative control.
Yeah.
We're not going to interfere with you. We've funded you, we've greenlighted you, you now do it, and then you deliver it to us and we put it on your show. I think the film studios, with their executives and all of that, and have to justify their jobs and have to get involved and get their nose all in it. I think that's why we get all this crap.
I disagree. I think they go, what property... This is why Disney's been buying so many properties. They go, what properties do we have that everyone knows and makes money? Guaranteed. And it's easy to go, everyone knows who Iron Man is, and we're going to make another Iron Man film. Everyone knows what Space Jam 1 is. We're going to make a second Space Jam. Everyone knows what Star Wars is. We're going to make 50 Star Wars shows. It's so much because people go, Star Wars film. I liked one of them.
Yeah, but Mandalorian was great, but Disney stayed out of the way for Mandalorian.
Yeah, but not the films. That was so heavily like
the films was different. The films was the executives.
I think the TV show and film, I'm going to keep them separate.
Yeah, but
in this sort of
Mandalorian, they just funded it and then they stayed the fuck out of it.
Yeah,
and as long as they stay out of it, I think we're going to have amazing content.
But that's the thing. I
think as soon as executives and all of that get involved, I think, and try and bend something to a particular type of audience, we're stuck. The film
industry's never been about the art. Like, I think that we're very lucky that some art comes through in the film industry, if that makes sense.
Yeah.
Like, even the music industry, I don't think it's about the art anymore. I think we're very lucky if some art comes out, like good art comes out of it. You know, we're very lucky, like John Mayer can still release a great album. But
nevertheless, there's still great opportunity for this art because it's now so easy to get your music out there.
Yeah, it is, but it's also oversaturated.
Yeah, massively.
It's same for all art forms at this point, entertainment forms at this point. But if you want 100% backing by the industry, you basically need to be working on a property that is already existing. And I think that's a really hard sell. Like there won't be a new, like, I'm going to talk in the music industry. There's not going to be a new Led Zeppelin, right? Because it's much easier to resell Led Zeppelin albums.
There'll be someone. Someone will break through. I don't know who that is.
Yeah.
Someone will break through. But the problem is now, let's say Led Zeppelin today broke through. He doesn't actually have to sign with. Why would you sign with a record deal?
Oh, yeah, well, maybe that's a bad example. What about going there's not going to be a.
Why should the record label and all of that have so much control over you as the artist, whereas today, musicians and all of that who were smart don't have the record label.
Frank Zappa did that back in the 1970s.
Yeah,
did the exact same thing as what you're talking about, go off grid and be his own producer and do all that sort of thing. It's the risk is far higher, and you get far less because of how the intercommunication with radio stations, print media, and other types of stuff like that.
But this is the thing. Radio stations are dying.
I understand it, but there's, again,
Print media is dying.
there's still enough power there.
Yeah, but it's diminishing.
It may be diminishing, but there's still enough power there. You know, even free-to-air television, like, yeah, it's slowly dying, but there's still enough power there because there are still certain generations of people.
Give it another decade. Another decade to 2 decades.
I'm not saying, but, like, you know, we've seen this decline from the early 2000s. You can't name, like, a big film that came out that swept everything that was a new property.
But I think something will come. Avatar, though. Avatar was new.
Yeah, but who was behind it?
Oh, I know.
James Cameron, who did Terminator 2.
But Avatar was the that's probably the only big thing that I think.
But can you remember the name of the main character?
Fuck no.
Yeah. Or one that is the most amazing film for me in the history of films. That came in, and it bang, the highest grossing film of all time, won him all these awards, all this sort of stuff, and then the next year, no one remembered anything about the film. Like, no one knows the main character's name. No one really knows what the story is. No one really knows. No one knows a single line of dialogue from the film.
Yeah, no, nothing.
Nothing at all. And I guarantee you, every fucking person saw it. But people can quote The Godfather or Casino from 40 years ago. No issues at all.
I love Casino, and I love
me too, and Goodfellas as well. And Avatar was meant to like be this franchise of they've actually booked in 5 extra films.
They haven't done anything.
They've never done anything. Because who cares? No one's gonna see Avatar 2. When the Fast and the Furious series have been a more successful franchise than,
and we're up to number 9.
Up to number 9. When you go, you can make as many films as you want. You made $1 billion, the first one to crack $1 billion, and the Fast and the Furious franchise goes, we're still making a shit ton of cash. We're just gonna keep cracking on with films and get more.
When do you reckon they'll stop? 15?
I hope they go on.
I think they're just going to go on. Why stop at 9?
I hope they go on forever. I hope that Vin Diesel owns.
Really?
Yeah.
Oh, fucking hell.
So he owns it all. So he just goes, I need more money. I think it's like a big scam as well. Like the same sort of thing with this Adam Sandler stuff.
Yeah.
Like I've told you this on the podcast before, I believe, where if Adam Sandler wants more money, he makes a film and goes on holiday. And if you notice, like all these films, apart from Uncut Gems, which is a great film, all these films are like, oh, me and my hot ex-girlfriend or whatever it is, love story, and we're on holiday in Hawaii in a 5-star mansion, and we stay in the hotel for 5 weeks and film this film. Or David Spade needs money, I will make a film with David Spade in it. He gets $2 million. I make $1 million. I make a film for $10 million.
Yeah.
I put it on Netflix. It makes $50 million. They give me more money to make more films.
It's a great scam.
It's a great scam, Kieran, you got some news?
I do have some news. I think it's time for the news. Right-handed man almost masturbates to death. Medical case study.
Amazing.
This fellow redefined mind-blowing sex after he suffered a life-threatening stroke while repeatedly masturbating.
Well, he definitely had a stroke.
Medical experts are saying he's lucky he escaped the ultimate unhappy ending. The unnamed 51-year-old right-handed man from Japan admittedly enjoyed pleasuring himself several times a day, according to a new case study in the Medical Journal of Stroke and Cerebrovascular Diseases. However, one explosive self-love session went awry when after climaxing, the serial striker was struck down by a thunderclap, headaches, and severe vomiting. Unnerved by the unsexy symptoms, the man rushed himself to this city university hospital where he was found to have low blood pressure and confusion.
You know what? Having a wank feels great,
Yeah.
right? But when you get to multiple times a day, multiple days a week,
Yeah, and then he had a stroke.
how
And he couldn't stop. That's amazing.
How good must coming feel, or having an orgasm feel once you've masturbated? Like, you know, if you're up to your 4th in a day, let's just say,
Yeah.
like, wouldn't you just be like, yeah, this is, like, you know,
It's got to build up a little bit, though.
yeah, you got to allow for some time. You
Yeah.
know, it's like eating too much cotton candy. Like the first bite is great,
Yeah.
and the second bite you go, yes. By the time you eat like half of it, you're like, I feel.
I've got to throw this
I
out.
really,
Yeah,
I feel
yeah.
real sick. That's why the first sip of beer on a Friday tastes
amazing.
amazing,
Yeah.
and then like the 4th bit, you go, I probably should stick to swap over to a whiskey. Like, you know, I just want to put it out there. The world's record for the longest time spent masturbating is 10 hours and 10 minutes.
I feel like that could be broken. I feel like that's a world record that could be.
I feel like 10 hours. Think of that. That is your whole day at work and transport getting there and coming home. And when I think about
I
it,
would
like
have thought it would have been like 48 hours or something.
oh no, because you get tired.
Yeah, you don't have to go that fast though.
Just edging yourself
Yeah.
for like 10 hours. That just sounds like torture. Like, when does it move over from having a wank to Chinese water torture? You know what I mean? Like, can you imagine if you said, okay, I'm having a wank and I'm doing it to myself for 10 hours, okay. But imagine someone goes, I'm going to tie you down and wank you off for 10 hours. That's like, that would be torture.
That would be torture.
You know, that's going to replace... Can you imagine if that replaces water torture in Guantanamo Bay?
Waterboarding, yeah. Oh my
Yeah,
God.
it's like, here you go. Oh, we're going to waterboard this guy? No. Tie him down. I've got... Please stop! No!
Just imagine the visual signals with what. Why does it look like you're wearing an antenna?
Oh, I've got the little.
Or it looks like your head's having an erection.
You know how it goes.
Yeah.
You know how it goes. Here we go. Man shames restaurant by weighing steak at the table to prove his meal is underweight.
Wow. Did he have scales? What the
Going
fuck
to
did
a
he have?
restaurant with all the positive associations of delicious food, alcohol, spending time with your family and dearest, but it turns out it's also a potential minefield. One man took it to an extreme after whipping out a set of scales at his restaurant to prove his steak was underweight, with his actions leaving people divided. Antonio Chacon said his 6-ounce steak looked like a child's meal and claims he was proven victorious after the scales revealed it weighed 3.68 ounces. Antonio had been out for his birthday meal with his family earlier in the month of Texas Roadhouse in Colorado, when he ordered his favorite meal, ribs and steak. But the 22-year-old's food was brought to him from the kitchen. He said he noticed that the sirloin appeared really small. Unemployed Antonio said he ran out to the car and brought him back his weighing scales, placing them on the table in front of him, and the waiter looked on in shock. He then complained that the sirloin was actually weighed 3.68 ounces. Almost half the weight had been advertised, prompting the chef to remake his meal. Antonio said, it's been my birthday. I ordered the ribs and steak. I got a 6-ounce steak, and when they bought it, it looked really small. So there you go. I asked the manager, do you think I can weigh it? She said, yes, no problem. Go ahead. I ran to my car. I had scales in my toolbox in my trunk. I went to my trunk, grabbed it. I used the paper wrap. I ripped a piece off, put it on the scale, and put the steak on. It weighed 3.6 ounces. And the waiter was like, it'll weigh 4 or 5. I said, no, this looks small. It looks like a child's meal. I ordered an adult meal. This guy.
Wow, well done. A big round of applause. Big round of applause.
I like that guy.
He's got the evidence. Look, you order a 6-ounce steak, it might be 6 ounces before they cook it.
Yeah.
It's a bit of water evaporation. It's going to go down.
Yeah, I would say, like, you'd probably lose what? Half an ounce? Maybe an ounce?
5.5. Acceptable.
Ooh.
3 or whatever it was.
Half
Yeah.
its way. That's
Yeah.
pushing it a little bit more. You got some more news for us?
I do. Washington man shoots fridge after soda can explodes. A man is under arrest after he shot his refrigerator, believing someone was shooting at him after a soda can exploded. Officers responded to the scene on Saturday after receiving reports that the man had opened fire at a refrigerator. That would be, if we were allowed guns in Australia, I would do something stupid like at your house, putting like the Coke can in the freezer to cool it up, like to get it cold faster and forget about it, and then kaboom.
I would just think of it as Homer Simpson when he gets the gun, he's trying to turn the television off with the gun, like bam, or turning off all the lights in the house and shooting all the light bulbs.
Yeah,
same sort of thing. Kieran,
yes,
you like South Park?
I do like South Park.
Do you remember the episode of South Park with Casa Bonita, the Mexican restaurant?
Casa Bonita,
yeah. Okay, well apparently it's closing down.
Casa Bonita is real?
Casa Bonita is real.
Oh shit!
Yeah. So there you go. But that's okay. There are some saviors coming. The South Park creators, Trey Parker and Matt Stone, want to buy the real Casa Bonita. Here we go. If you like us at all, you will first introduce the concept of Casa Bonita, a small chain of Mexican entertainment restaurants in the western part of the United States, through an episode of South Park that aired during the show's 7th season. At which point, if you continue to be like us, you assume the restaurants are made up for the show, because how could such a paradise exist? Surely this fantastic wonderland of Colorado-based Mexican food is a novelty. Photo ops must have been sprung. Like I say, they fully formed their heads in the South Park creators, But no, Casa Bonita is real, or it was. The COVID-19 shutdowns have been understandably hard on the entertainment, eatertainment industry. Because remember, it had like the cliff divers and the
Casa Bonita,
so it filed for bankruptcy in April. But a potentially happy ending to the word because Parker and Stone may have not invented Casa Bonita, but they're definitely fans and are apparently thinking about buying the last remaining restaurant for themselves. We want to buy Casa Bonita and treat it right. I feel like it was neglected even before the pandemic, Parker told THR earlier today. Located in Lakewood, Colorado, the restaurant is the last vestiges of a chain that was apparently a big deal to both creators as a kid. And to be clear, it doesn't seem to be a joke. Parker and Stone seem to generally want to spend their ridiculous piles of 24 years of South Park money on one of those classic what I'd do if I was mega rich dreams, i.e. recreating a classic restaurant experience of their youth. We started talking about it and the changes we're going to make, mostly with the food, Parker told them. We're going to make a really awesome food. I was already thinking about how I was going to make Black Bart's Cave a little bigger.
That is amazing.
It's pretty great. Like, what would you do? Like, you became mega rich. What, like, childhood thing?
Oh, fuck. That just sounds... Now that I know that Casa Bonita is actually real...
Yeah, you just want to get a Casa Bonita.
Yeah. Look, if I was mega rich, though...
Yeah. You'd bring back Smorgies?
Oh, my God. The Bandura one with the waterfall.
With the waterfall.
Yeah.
That magically... When... they wanted to put apartments there, magically burnt down to the ground.
That was so awesome going there as a kid.
Oh, the food was fucking shit.
I don't know, I was a kid. All I ate was ice cream and jelly.
See? Rose-tinted glasses,
Yeah. Yeah, as an adult, I probably would go, I'm not eating here. This place looks unhygienic.
Yeah.
And terrible. What would I do? I would just buy stupid... I want to own a restaurant and a bar. And I couldn't care if it actually made money or not. But just so that I could be like, yes, this is my bar. Yes, this is my restaurant. That'd be nice. And just, have full control.
I think a bar would be the way to go.
Yeah.
Just so you can have some people play some live music.
Yeah. Just have it exactly the way the fuck that I want. If I lost money, couldn't give a shit.
Yeah.
Because it's my bar. And I'm like a multi-millionaire.
Yeah.
That'd be amazing.
I would buy a McDonald's franchise.
Really?
Because I think it would just be great to go, this is my McDonald's. Like, you know, I want to do that Richie Rich thing. It's like, you have your own McDonald's? Like, I want that experience.
All right, I'm going to get a Hungry Jack's.
Jeez. You've chosen possibly the worst fast food chain. You know what? Hungry Jack's is...
The burgers are better at Hungry Jack's.
It's Burger King equivalent.
Yeah.
In America. But I can't think... Either that or I would buy Hutchies.
Isn't it convenient that Hutchies is a kebab place where you get kebabs at midnight? Isn't it convenient that Munchies, which was around the corner, burnt down?
Really?
Yeah.
Yeah, but they didn't have as good kebabs as Hutchies.
No, I preferred Munchies.
You preferred Munchies?
Yeah.
That's like going, I prefer, what's that other Greek place?
This is why I'm buying Hungry Jack's.
You are the second rate. What was that place 2 doors down from Real Greek? The kebab shop?
Kebab Nation?
Oh, something like that.
Oh, Slovaki King.
Savlaki King.
Yeah.
Yeah. You had the choice of going to Savlaki King and Real Greek, and people went to Savlaki King.
Yeah, no, Slovaki King, I would go to Real Greek most of the time, but when I wanted the Aussie, I would go to the Slovaki King.
What's in the Aussie?
There might be like egg and pineapple, or I don't know.
That sounds disgusting. That's really bad.
I don't think there was egg and pineapple. I think it was egg. It was something different.
Can I ask a question? You are more Australian than I.
Yeah.
Why is egg on our... When did egg become synonymous with the Australian pizza? Like, I would have thought... Like, I like hundreds and thousands, maybe. I would have gone, yes, that's Australian. Like, you know, or Vegemite.
Or kangaroo meat or something.
Kangaroo meat, you know, perfect. Why did we go, we're going to take...
An egg.
An egg. Like, who said that's definitely Australian? Like, for me, like, eggs I think of like a full English breakfast.
See, I feel like an egg on a pizza, you Italians must go, what the fuck are they doing?
Oh, it's... You know, even when I went to Italy and visit my family, they were confused that what they had like their own pizza oven and all that, and they would just make margaritas, nothing else.
Yeah.
Right? And then if you wanted stuff on top, you put like fresh salami on top.
Mm-hmm.
You don't even cook it. And I was like, I want to put that in the oven and get it all crispy, you know, and have the fat melt. And they were like, oh, that's like almost that. Even that was almost sacrilege.
Wow.
To them. So if I came over there and said, we're going to put a fucking egg on this side.
We're going to make you an Aussie pizza.
I think
we're going to get really processed ham.
Yeah, the most processed. I can't even eat that stuff anymore. I'm sure I've been more sick from eating that ham than I have from like...
Have you been to Doc's in Carlton?
Yeah.
Yeah, now that pizza's nice.
But that's the thing, like the wood oven. I think they don't even cook the salami in. They put it on top, or maybe just cook it just a little bit.
I don't know. That pizza's like I don't know. I feel like that's the closest to real Italy I can get.
Do you remember next door to Carter's? There was a pizza place, and they had the pizzas in big trays. And they used to cut it and weigh it.
Yeah, no.
Anyway, that was definitely the closest pizza to Italy I've ever had in Australia,
Right.
because it was. That's how they make it in Italy. They make big trays of it, and then you say, oh, I want like, you know, that much, and they cut it. Then they weigh it, and you pay for it by weight.
Oh.
And then they sort of heat it up for you, ready to go. And it's the best.
That's interesting.
Because then you can, like, if you want like 3 different types, you just sort of cut how much you want, and you pay for exactly that. Instead of having to go, oh, I'll have a half a pizza, like half and half.
Yeah.
No, they make the full thing, so it's proper toppings and everything right to the edges, and then they cut it and they put it, you know.
Oh.
That's same as my non. Like, I also think, like, back in the day, like, Nonna, why are you cutting pizza with scissors? And then you go to Italy, and because of the way they make the pizza, that's how everyone cuts pizza with scissors. Not the circular thing. Scissors.
So we're doing it wrong. All right, so next time I get a pizza in my house, I'm going to whip out the scissors. Because, you know, they never cut it properly anyway. So I'm going to use scissors to cut it. And I'm just going to watch my housemates go, what the fuck are you
got
doing?
the Italian ticker for approval.
Yeah, this will be you will receive a phone call.
I'm sure I will.
Like when I'm at the shopping centre and I can't find whatever I'm finding.
The bitters.
I've gone down a different aisle that I didn't know existed.
Probably.
Yeah. And
Okay, I'm up for that. You gonna do one more quick whip around? You gonna do some headlines?
Yeah, no, I've got nothing more other than a special story.
Oh, go for it.
A special story. Turch sent me on a mission today, people.
Oh, yeah.
Sent me on a mission.
I forgot we were going to talk about this.
He said, research Chris Chan. That was the scope.
I really didn't think you would do this.
Find out as much information as you can about Chris Chan. I was like, okay, I can Google Chris Chan, see what Chris Chan is about. So I'm not sure whether it's a he or a she.
It's a she now.
Okay.
Yeah, she has a penis though.
But the headlines and everyone's calling Christina now.
Yeah, it's Christina Chan.
Christina Chan.
Yeah.
A transgender internet personality, Chris Chan, has been arrested on incest charges.
Yeah.
As I read more, have you known about Chris Chan for a while?
I've known for yeah.
Okay.
Well, I've been following him. Like
Yeah.
I was following him back in the day.
Yeah.
And then I found out that, obviously it saw the transition occur.
Uh-huh.
And then I sort of dropped out, and recently she's been in the news because she's done some.
So Chris Chan is autistic.
Yes.
And is gone from biological male to identifying as female, transitioning.
Yes.
But created a character called Sochi or
Sonichu.
Sonichu, there we go.
A cross between Pikachu and Sonic the Hedgehog.
Quite a number of years ago. And created this 10-part series movie thing, which I have not watched.
Oh no, it's a comic book.
A comic book.
Yeah.
Which has received a lot of backlash on the internet.
What?
And somehow has become quite popular, but
Yeah.
gets trolled a lot.
Oh yeah.
And that's as much as I've really found out.
It's such a big over, there's so much lore about Chris Chan.
Yeah.
So Chris Chan started off it was found on this message board. Someone said, "Hey, this guy's pretty weird. He makes his own comics of Sonichu, and apparently used to carry a medallion of Sonichu on him." And he
Why do I feel like this isn't weird? Kids do this all the time. They make up their own stuff.
He was also 21.
Yeah.
He would also hand out cards,
Yeah.
business cards, of saying,
Uh-huh.
"I'm looking for a girlfriend, aged between certain things, a certain weight, certain height.
Yeah.
Help me find a girlfriend,"
Uh-huh.
and all this sort of stuff.
So 21, handing out business cards. Oh, good hustle. Well done.
Good hustle, yeah.
And creates your own comic book.
Yeah.
All right.
Still very childlike sort of mind. And then eventually, the more interactions he had with the internet, the more he believed that the made-up world that he created was real.
Yeah. Oh,
And his world was affected
Yeah.
by real-world events and vice versa.
Uh-huh.
So at one stage, they said that the reason why ISIS was around was because really they wanted to destroy the land of Sonichu.
Wow.
And he believed this and was trying to contact a bunch of people to try and stop that. It's an amazing sort of thing. And the whole site, Kiwi Farms, used to be only focusing on, which focuses a database, a repository, and a message board of collecting information about weirdos on the internet and lolcows and people to make fun of on the internet. Was initially started to keep a track of the things that this person did. Anyway, over time, they would invite him to conventions, and he would inappropriately try to kiss people because obviously he's got autism, doesn't really understand things. Over time, eventually, he decided, "I'm actually a woman," and start to make the transition over, not by any drugs or anything, just by growing her hair and doing a whole bunch of fun things.
Yeah. Wearing girls' clothes, etc.
Wearing girls' clothes, this, that.
Okay.
Still doing the same sort of thing. And there's, I'm missing a lot.
Mm-hmm.
But the most recent thing that's happened is that this person has been arrested for having sex or raping his vegetated state mother.
Wow.
And also extorting her by getting in control of her bank account and transferring funds into her own account.
Okay.
So a whole bunch of things have happened. But the most important thing is...
Well, so I didn't quite get that far because I went on to the Sonochu
comic book.
Yeah.
It's great. Amazing.
Okay.
So you should do a whole... it should be a case study for you for your next doctorate, because you will have how many pages was your last thesis? Like 200?
Whatever, like 90,000 words.
Yeah. This will be a 1,000,000 word thesis. That's how fucked up this story is. But the craziest thing that's come out to this to me, and there's sort of two things that have come out, and you're just like, what the fuck is going on in the US, right? I should have got it up earlier, but okay.
This is a quality podcast, people.
No.
Yeah.
So she was in Virginia. Virginia's incest statute doesn't apply to mother-daughter incest. So Virginia will have to decide the legal question of whether biological sex or gender applies with a law which has gendered language. This could easily end up in the Supreme Court. So the US Supreme Court may have to decide if it's legal for a man to rape his demented woman if he identifies...
But he has a penis.
Yeah, but she identifies as a woman.
But did she use it? Well, did she use his... Did she use her own... I don't know. He's got a penis. Was the penis used at all?
Yes. But it's a woman.
Yeah, but if you're using your if you're a woman, don't you just tuck it in?
We're talking about an autistic man here.
I'm just trying to. If you got a penis and you identify as a female, I thought you did the tuck, and the
I must admit,
the sticky tape, or I don't know, whatever you do. So I can see the lawyers going, no, the penis was inserted.
Yeah, but she identifies as a woman.
Or
as long as you say you are whatever gender you state, right?
Uh-huh.
So if that's the case, then yes, you may still have a penis, but it's a female penis.
Oh, this is just too confusing.
So she raped her mother with her female penis, but because they don't see male daughter-mother incest as incest...
Turch, can I tell you something? This is why Hollywood doesn't make new films anymore, because they're too fucked up.
But wouldn't this be way more interesting of a film than like?
Give me Iron Man 4. Give me Iron Man 4. I can't deal with this.
I think this is one of the most interesting people in the world. This is Christina Chan, and I think the more you dig into her, the more you're going to go, this is actually...
You know what's going to happen? I'm going to get home. I won't be able to fall asleep because I've had a coffee.
Yeah.
And I am going to do more digging.
Yeah. Absolutely. It is just an absolutely...
Turn your phone off tonight.
It's
because I'll be sending you messages.
Fine, I'm up for it.
2 a.m. Jess is going to go...
It's the most... One of those... Remember when we did Richard Gere? Like, he was the guy that was sending messages to Taylor Swift and writing her songs, and we listened to a couple of her songs. And he reviewed brothels. Like, he's an interesting character for sure. Christina Chan is just like, that is peak autism.
All right, so we had...
And that is, for me,
yeah,
the greatest representation of the transgender community.
I don't think the transgender community wants to be represented by...
But that's what people are going to know.
Christina Clam or whatever. What's her name?
Christina Chan.
No, I can't even keep up.
Yeah. I think it's going to be... If this is the world going forward, I'm really excited. It's just the most amazing thing you've ever seen in your life. And I think the more you dig into it, I think you'll agree with me more and more.
We might have to do a special. The We Only Do One Take podcast special.
Go into Kiwi Farm, look at this millions of information points. It's going to be amazing.
Excellent.
Excellent. And with that, ladies and gentlemen, I think we're going to wrap it up here. Make sure, for all your other wanking needs, make sure you follow us on SoundCloud, iTunes,
and use
Instagram,
both hands. Don't
Twitter,
get stuck with your right. Make sure you also use your left.
Spotify, Facebook, and definitely
And don't have a stroke while you're stroking.
Definitely. Look, you know what? This show only goes for an hour, so you can listen to 10 episodes of this show and beat the world record of masturbating. Film it, stream it. Can you stream it anywhere? Maybe Pornhub will let you stream it.
And let us know.
And let us know. And if you, for all your other wanking needs, and if you've got something to tell us, make sure you email us at we only do one take podcast at gmail.com. Kieran, thank you so much. So good to have a fantastic conversation with you.
We never know where these are going to go. Thank you, everyone. See you next week.
Come on, man. Motherfuckers, guys, come on. Give me the 5-star rating, baby. Give me the 5-star. That's all I want, baby. That's all I want. I'll fuck all the beautiful girls in the goddamn world. They'll fuck a 10-star. I just want 5. 5, baby. Just 5.